Hey guys, Dave from Timber Time Outdoors. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. As you can see, I'm out west. I'm here in the Bighorn Mountains, and we're going to talk about this Harley Davidson and my top 5 accessories. So stay with us, guys.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
All right, guys, if you're looking to buy a new Harley Davidson, or maybe you already have one, accessories are a very confusing thing when it comes to Harleys and super fun to buy, also very expensive. But I'm here to try to navigate the waters for you. In other words, prioritize your list. I'm going to give you my top 5. They're must-haves when you get a Harley Davidson. This happens to be my 2021 Road Glide Special. And if you're looking to buy a Road Glide, a Street Glide, maybe a Road King, or some other Harley Davidson, you know there's a ton of accessories out there and it's very confusing. And in this video, we are going to talk about priorities, okay? I'm going to give you the top 5 kind of must-haves for a Harley Davidson motorcycle. All right, guys, accessory number 1 is pretty obvious. Although you could argue number 2 should be number 1, you can interchange these two. To me, you got to have both. But let's start with my number 1, and it has to do with what makes a Harley Davidson so great, and that is the sound. So exhaust pipes, right? Oh my God, are there a lot of exhaust pipes and a lot of variations of it. I'm gonna tell you what I did for this particular motorcycle, but I'm telling you right now, guys, if you buy a Harley Davidson and don't get pipes, that is just wrong. So get yourself some pipes. You know, everybody's got a different recipe and what they like as far as hearing goes and how they sound. I wanted something a little bit tame when I'm going slow, but I also wanted it to kind of bark when I give it some gas. And so the pipes that I'm going to show you here do exactly that. You can kind of control the volume of them. All right, the pipes that I bought are made by SNS, and they're the MK45s. They're actually named after the naval cannons. And again, you can control the volume of these pipes, and that sounds ridiculous, but actually it's true. So basically what this bike will do is, if I'm throttled down, it'll sound almost stock. It is that quiet. And so if I'm on a long highway and going fast and I just don't want that drone grinding away at my ears, I just don't throttle up. But if I want to hear my Harley and I want to make it bark, you just give it a lot of gas and these babies sound awesome. Are they the loudest pipes in the world? No, they're not. But I like that I can control the volume. So SNS MK45s is what I did for exhaust, and it is my number 1 accessory. All right, accessory number 2, and could be number 1 in some people's books, are bars. Okay, stock bars are super comfortable, but you know what? Your hands are down here and they just, I don't know. You got to get some big bars. You know, I don't have big ape hangers, but you know, bars are what make a Harley look cool. Get your arms up high, right? I did mini apes, and I actually wanted to stick with all Harley Davidson on this bike. I know that might sound a little bit weird because it probably paid through the nose, but every accessory on this bike for the most part is Harley Davidson, and my bars are no different. And so I did what that's called a fused bar, and they're kind of interesting. There's some things I like about it, some things I don't, and I'll kind of point those out here, but they look very different. So, you know, a lot of people buy the bars that have kind of the fish hook tops on them. They do this, or else they just buy the traditional rounded. And of course the height, you know, there's all kinds of heights and widths and comfort level. And there are other videos on how to buy bars. I chose the Harley Davidson offering, which is this new look. It's got kind of a neat little knuckle on it. But I will tell you, on the left side of this bike, because this bike has a mechanical clutch and no longer has that hydraulic clutch, it looks a little funny on this side of the bike, in my opinion. But you know, it is what it is, and I'm going to go with these bars, and they're very comfortable. And so that is my number 2 accessory, is get some ape hangers. Okay, we've talked about sound, right? That's my number 1. Number 2 is your connection to the bike up here. And number 3 is also a connection to the bike. And I'm going to talk about seats a little bit. So seat is my number 3 accessory. Boy, if you go with that stock seat, you know, you're either bar hopping or you've got a butt of steel, because the stock seat that comes on these street glides and road glides and road kings, they're really basic. my butt went numb after about 10 minutes of riding. And so I ended up researching the seats a little bit. I looked at the Harley Davidson hammock. I also looked at Mustang, which I had a Mustang in my previous motorcycle. Really loved the Mustang. But I ended up actually going outside of Harley Davidson for my seat, actually. And I went with the road sofa made by Saddlemen. I do have a video on that. I'll link that here. So far so good. It's heated, it looks nice, it's got a backrest, and it's very comfortable so far. You know, I've gone 3-hour rides so far. It feels really good. Now there's a break-in period apparently, but you know, the point of this here is your connection to the bike is your hands and your rear end. So get yourself a good seat, because the stock seat that comes on this bike, it's not so great. Okay, accessory number 4 also has to do with the connection to the bike. So I mentioned the bars, and if you're gonna do bars, you might as well do some heated grips. You know, you can get great gloves and do all that stuff, but man, when your hands get cold, it is hard to control your bike. And so heated grips are a must-have in my opinion. I had a bike that didn't have them, and you know, constantly just getting cold hands is so irritating. This bike has heated grips. Awesome. Get heated grips. They come in a variety of, you know, brands and styles and whatnot. And I'm not going to go into that here, but get some heated grips. That is my accessory number 4. All right, must-have accessory number 5 has to do with how you see. Windshield. Again, the stock windshield is okay, but let's be honest, there are a lot of aftermarket windshields that are a lot nicer. Clockworks makes a bunch of great ones. This one happens to be a Freedom, just fantastic. There are videos on how to, you know, get the right height and so forth, but I highly recommend you get a windshield that fits you, fits your height. It helps you see better, and it's kind of a safety thing. So if you wear a helmet, you know, you get a lot of head buffeting if you don't have that windscreen correct, and then you can't see good. And if you can't see, you know, you all know what that means, right? So a windshield is kind of a safety thing. They do look nice on the bike, and so that is my accessory top 5 accessory number 5. All right, guys, just a few bonus accessories. I mean, we could talk for an hour about the different accessories that are on this bike, but I did a few things, you know, to kind of dress it up. I did a rack on the back. This is called a stealth rack. It kind of works with the seat. It's actually not very functional, to be honest. It's more show, and a lot of things that you put on your bike are, my buddy calls it jewelry, right? You're dressing up your girl. That's kind of what I did with that rack. Lots of other things, you know, foot pegs, you name it. There's all kinds of things you can buy for a Harley Davidson. Lights. I've got some special lights on the front here, you know, help for safety. And, you know, the list is endless, but stick to those top 5 if you're getting started. I know that, you know, eventually you're going to run out of money, and you can, you know, do these accessories over time. So super happy with this bike. I'm going to continue to, you know, add to it as I go over time, but I think this might be the last motorcycle I ever buy. I really love it. Again, this is a 2021 Road Glide Special. It's got the Milwaukee 8, which is, if you've never driven a Milwaukee 8, do that. I've got a video here I'll link about the comparison between the Milwaukee 8 and the 103 was in my previous motorcycle. I am just absolutely in love with this Milwaukee 8. If I had a knock on it a little bit, it would be the sound. It doesn't sound as good as some of those older motorcycles, but boy, is it smooth. So we'll wrap this video up, guys. Thanks for watching. Please make a comment. You know, don't throw me under the bus, but you know, there's a lot of things we can all learn together from those comments. Share with your friends. Hit that like button if you learned something. Helps out the channel. And remember, everybody, keep it in the timber. Bye-bye.